Hello and welcome to Free the Flea Market instrument making session with me, Sami Elu. This is my snare drum sound for foot percussion. I've already uploaded 2 different versions of myself building this instrument, but because I hit it with my foot so often, I'm basically stomping on it constantly. It is broken several times, so I've decided to attempt to make a more durable version, which will not break, and hopefully should hold together for a long time, and make more snappy sounds. Now I'm going to demonstrate all the parts of this and how it is put together. Now here's the can, which is the main sound-making element. I've got all these bits of scrap wood and metal and stuff in there, which shakes and gives it its shaky, snappy sound. So basically the lid fits on like that, and I have these kind of tambourine-like bottle cap things attached on this wire through the holes there. Now those are not going to fall off. Those are going to just hang on there just like that. It's bent a little bit from me playing it with my foot, but hopefully it shouldn't completely get destroyed. And this is a saw blade, which I've cut and I've attached onto the wood here to be the main spring action. I want the top piece of wood to basically slam down on the can and make a sound and then come back up so I can repeatedly hit it again and again. So if we look really close here, you can see that there are 2 little screws on either side of the saw blade, and those are going to prevent it from moving side to side. Okay, so let's look at how this can is being held on. I have some screws going through holes in the can into the wood, 3 of them, 1, 2, 3, and the third one is kind of going through where the saw blade comes underneath. So I needed to cut a slit through there to allow that screw to go in, and I used the grinder to do that. This is my grinder, a very important tool for making instruments and percussion stuff out of junk. I highly recommend it. You shouldn't turn it on with one hand like I just did right there, but anyway, it's great for just, cutting stuff and shaping stuff to your delight. So, now the can is very firmly held onto the wood with those 3 screws. So that saw blade is really pretty firmly attached to the wood, so it should not fall off and break, as long as the wood and the screws around it hold together. And this lid could fall off, so I'm just going to use some tape to hold it on securely. So I've got that saw blade held together with that 1 screw on the base. Now this is a very important, crucial part right here. I tried many other ways of trying to get these 2 pieces of wood to hold together. Finally I realized that a hinge is going to do the trick for me, and this hinge is going to hold it on just the way I like it. And this metal thing under there was the original sound making element. I had uploaded that in a previous video, and there was like a bunch of stuff in there that would rattle around. So now I have that can in the front part, which is the sound making element. So that's the old one, and I've just kept it on there just because it still does make a little bit of sound. So okay, let's look at how I've got this hinge held on here. Basically there's a little bit of an angle on it, so it really isn't moving that much. It's moving about 1 centimeter from its top position to where it's hitting the can, which is just about enough space to get a little bit of striking motion. Let's look at the hinge. The hinge is very important for holding it together to make sure it doesn't break. I have these holes right where the screws are coming through, where I've screwed in the hinge. They're bolted on there basically. And of course the holes are on there so that the screws will not come in contact with the wood on the other side, so that the thing will lay flat basically. And as you can see, the screws are jutting out just slightly over the wood, and this could potentially be a problem on both sides. On the bottom side, because this could damage the floor that I'm playing on. If the screw really scrapes the floor a lot, that's not so good. So I'm going to put a piece of tape, maybe a piece of duct tape over that, which hopefully will just, prevent the screws that are jutting out from destroying my shoes and from destroying the floor. And I'm going to use this cloth over the bass because depending on what surface that I'm playing on, the sound will be very different. Sometimes I play on wood floors, sometimes I play on concrete surfaces, other times I'm just on the ground, and having that cloth under there will just kind of keep the sound consistent. So I just want basically the sound of the rattling bits inside of that can, plus the tambourine-like bits on there. That's the main part of the sound. So here's what it sounds like. You can hear it. I'm hitting it with my foot. We are getting a lot of floor sound in there too, but the cloth under there is kind of helping to mute that. So there it is, the final product. Now I've been using it for a while now, and I hope to be able to use it for a long time. Next we have the full version with the cloth just kind of taped on there. That's just the whole cloth is there to, as I said, to mute the sound of the floor. I've taped the lid onto the can so that the lid will never fall off. The spring action is still working nicely there, the saw blade spring. And as you can see, there's just a little bit of room above it where it can hit the can and bounce back up. So I just get that nice snap sound. There it is. I hope you enjoy it. Subscribe to my channel and join my Patreon and all that good stuff. And thanks for watching, and see you next time.